This is the entrance to City of Gallup. Interesting town. So let's start out with the fact that the first store and the gas station is closed down. We have the two hotels at the beginning with bed rates of $34 and $42, and most of these hotels are empty or closed down. So we'll take a road trip a little bit down the street so you can see what we're talking about. So we're looking to get a lot of the property here. If you look at the blue roof on the left, we're moving onto the property on the right. We've got the 12 acres there that we've already acquired, and obviously most of the land here has no substantial value. Doesn't look to go up anytime soon because there's no reason to buy the vacant land because they can't even populate the hotels here. The hotels here are just deplorable, embarrassing, and a complete invitation for us to start acquiring more land inexpensively. So the Knights Inn and Suites, I'm not sure if this is closed down or not. There were 2 or 3 cars here last night, so they might have a person or two. It could just be a clerk or a maintenance person, but it certainly doesn't look active, and the sign appears to be down. We stayed at the Econo Lodge for $42 last night, and we really overpaid because the Budget Inn right across the street is only $34. Right next to the Econo Lodge, we have the space here. So it looks like there's a lot of open land. So let's start looking at the dirt that's available as well as the hotel opportunities. But when you look across the street, there's almost nobody at the $34 Budget Inn. And the gas station food store has been closed down as well. So that's another defunct thing. And then we have the liquor adult stuff. The liquor adult stuff had no traffic last night either. So that building's probably going to be available either now or fairly soon because they're doing no business. And of course, right next to it, you have the 66 stuff there. And on the other side of Taco Bell, we're going to see a lot of other closed down things that are in the same range as the Econo Lodge. So we'll look at the Remax stuff here. This house again, sort of the same thing, same side of the street. We've got that house right in the back there. We've got some dirt in the front. Let's find out what it is. But the middle building there looks pretty low class and kind of run down. The Red Lion looks pretty run down. Across the street from it, the hay and feed place looks like it's been abandoned for months or years. And next to that, there's the wash place. And so let's kind of go up to where the Red Lion is and see what it looks like across the street from there. Let's get the property prices on this fronted property, 13 acres, B&F used cars. It's got a structure that we could use as an initial structure. It would sort of have the same function to us as the Red Lion Hotel. And that building next to it, if that's the one that's for sale, that could be too. But there's also this West End Donut. That looks to be the only place that's doing anything. And again, it's kind of a rundown, unimpressive, really kind of an eyesore. So I'm sure they could sell a few donuts, but they're really kind of taking the value of the property locally down, kind of the same way that the B&F used cars is. Now we have the Ranch Kitchen, which is next to the Red Lion. From what I understand, they're offering some cheap deals on that. It would literally give us exactly the same thing, same access to the same dirt. We know that that dirt connects up to where we're going, so we understand the path from this dirt to the high school and over to our parcel, so we can keep our assemblage going with or without the Red Line. And the RV park next to it obviously is the indication that, you know, this part of town is not going to be growing up anytime soon. So across from where the Red Lion and the kitchen are, in addition to lots of open land, which we do like, obviously the RV park, USA RV Park, is going to keep a lot of the value suppressed. And the old trailer is kind of right across here on the bridge. Certainly don't help. But you can kind of see that basically from here into town, and we're going to do this little drive, you got about a good mile of no real commercial value, but an opportunity for us to get a lot of big land cheap and to continue an assemblage. So the drive into town, basically, let's kind of show what this, so it's supposed to be about a mile from here. So So nothing really of value here. Most of the places are either unbuilt, closed down, industrial. So this one basically used car lot, kind of a lot of not impressive cars. The Valero. But really, there's just not much from here to the adult bookstores, which are, traditionally the outskirts of town. But even the outskirts of town doesn't really sustain the adult bookstore, and you can then see the aluminum siding houses in the back there. But there's a lot of property along. It certainly would be nice if we could just get something that had a bunch of rooms, but at this point, the pop-up looks like it can be faster and cheaper than actually doing that one piece of property. So you see this, the restaurant, lounge, adult books, gifts. It really is the first sign of life near the Red Line. And you got some nice mufflers here, and a bunch of old broken down cars, and then just a lot more dirt with nothing on it for quite a while before you have any relevant access to anything that reasonably relates to Gallup. The airport runway, again, not a big commercial field, so you're going to see that this whole area really has long distance before it becomes part of any expansion in Gallup. And as we know, Gallup has gone from about 21 or 22,000 people to about 20,000 in the last 5 years. So in addition to the problems from COVID, you look at these kind of buildings on the outskirts here, and we know that these buildings are not being used. The next buildings are not being used. So kind of from where the adult bookstore is to the edge of town in Gallup at the moment is a complete wasteland. So for us to really be focused on building in this west side, there's a lot of dirt cheap. So we can, I think, buy some stuff consistently. We can show the values are not that high, and we can buy a lot of property and have some fun. And then this is kind of where life starts with the Indian village, and from here on you have quite a few of these Indian jewelry places and some support places. So this is really the beginning of Gallup, not the 16 as we'd anticipated before we had a chance to drive this. So out here, two more closed down buildings, 3 more closed down buildings, a closed down hotel. So actually, where it looks like it's going to get good, it's not so good yet. So apparently this building, they still do some stuff, but most of it was torn down. I guess they had problems with vagrants and with stuff being destroyed. But so this is kind of the first of the big hotels that's down, but we've got a few more coming right up. We're trying to figure out if the Royal Holiday Motel is empty, but we didn't see anything here last night, and it doesn't look like, but it could be open, not sure. But again, looking here from the side, you can see that that whole building on the left there, that's kind of... So we're seeing something consistent with basically the kind of buildings that are around here. So a lot of these hotels were actually torn down. So here again through the Super 8, let's go up to the Super 8, because as we approach that, we're going to see more stuff that just hasn't worked, even once you begin to get into the beginning of the town. So if you were going to do something with a residential element or hospitality element, at least this is closer into town, but it's not doing too well around here. Let's stop at this Economy Inn here for a second out front so we can see the quality of the lot here. So clearly this property's not been working. This next property is clearly not working. So until we get up to the desert, what is that? Desert something. Skies. Desert Skies. up to the days in, and it looks like, again, we have more inactive stuff happening.